for peak performance without burnout. And today we are talking about money. We have Megan Tull here, the best-selling author of The Passion Belief Method. And we are just so excited to kind of get to know more about how we can make more money, feel good about money, and most of all, you know, for us that are millennials, seeing it in a different light than maybe our parents did, and really bringing it into our own strength and our own worth. As an entrepreneur, this is huge for me because I am learning that I can make a lot more money than the job I had, and kind of just saying that I totally deserve it, and it's going to keep coming in abundance, and that's going to also give me the outlet to pay it forward later in life, and that's my whole MO. So Megan, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Mia. It's such a pleasure to be here to share and be of service today. So I've been an entrepreneur myself for 25 years. I've owned 7 different businesses over the years, and had a lot of successes and a lot of failures, but I learned so much along the way. And I think it's, you know, those low points that are those big life lessons, learning opportunities. And if you can kind of pick yourself up and brush yourself off and learn from that experience, then you're just going to be stronger and more confident moving forward from there. So the work that I do now is I'm super passionate about helping business professionals, especially entrepreneurs. And I love working with women, but I've worked with tons of men. But I really love to help them if they're struggling to reach their desired level of success or their results. I like to help them to redesign their career, their business to reflect their true self, their unique value, so they can authentically attract people to their world, opportunities to them, and start having more fun and making way more money. So that's what I love to do, basically taking something that you're super passionate about and turning that into profits. So I'm so blessed and privileged to be able to share all the lessons that I've learned on my journey, and help people to really use their gifts in a way where they can be of service and they can make an impact and a difference in this world.
Yeah, and I love, you have so much good feedback on your website, and people love the book. People are just definitely looking for the solutions that you offer and all the different steps that you do. So I'm grateful for you to kind of share with us. What is your, like, when you say your unique value, what does that mean?
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of give you some context around that first, because after working with business professionals and entrepreneurs for the last 20 plus years, I have found that the biggest challenge or problem that they face is they don't truly understand what their unique value is. So they struggle. They either self-sabotage, they prevent themselves from having success before it even happens, but certainly they prevent themselves from reaching their true potential. So when you don't own your value, and we're going to talk about what makes up your value in a second, what happens is you cannot stand in your power. You cannot present yourself in a confident or powerful way or ask for or charge what you're worth. So you end up playing small. You end up kind of hiding behind the scenes instead of really standing in your power and getting out there and sharing your gifts and getting paid generously for them. So what your unique value is comprised of is a number of different things. And this is what makes it super cool, because there's no 2 people on the planet alike. Everybody is unique and everybody is special. So the first area that your unique value comes from is your God-given gifts and talents. Okay. The second area is your education. So thinking about all the education you've had over the years, your experiences in your life, good or bad, and your skill sets you've developed over the years, as well as your characteristics as a person and your values as a person. So I'm talking values like, integrity, honesty, those, and kindness.
A little bit of like your moral code, more or less.
Exactly. Yes. The standards by which you live by. So all those things come together to make up your unique value. Right. So that's what I ask people to look at. Like, instead of comparing yourself to other people. Because if you decide, oh, I'm going to be, you know, a business coach or whatever it is, and you see what other people are doing and you do exactly what they're doing, you're going to miss the boat, because you are not going to get the same results as them. And if you brand yourself as they brand themselves, then you are not going to be unique. You are not going to stand out. And you're not going to be working in your genius zone. You're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be having fun. It's going to be a struggle. So It's all about being in alignment with who you are as a person, what you bring. And when you can celebrate all of those things, your unique value, and represent that in your career, in your business, in if you're volunteering your time for an organization you're passionate about, and you're utilizing your gifts and your experience and your education to be able to help that organization, that's your genius zone, and that's what makes you special and unique, and that's what people are going to be attracted to. So that's the space you want to operate in. And I believe when you are connected to your passion and you're really operating in your unique value, then that's when you're going to be not only the most fulfilled, but that's when you're going to be able to make the biggest impact in this world.
I understand that clearly. I mean, I've had so much kind of just 2 or 3 different mentors be like, you see something and you know you want it, Mia. And it's cool because I want to get to where that, like, let's say someone's end game is, or a different nutritionist, and it's like, okay, how did she find that success? How did she, you know, get to the point where she's so courageous on film or any of that? And it's a fear part of it. And I think that there is a lot of fear, especially in entrepreneurship when you're just starting, and the virtual world is so different. And so that's really something that's resonated with me, because if I can say, no, I'm going to check into how I was raised, like, it needs to be comfortable every time I'm doing it. If I feel like I'm wearing something or saying something that just doesn't even come out of my mouth correctly, like, I'm out of my unique self, right? Like, or I'm sorry, my unique value, and I'm able to perform a lot better when I feel confident in my own skin. And I think confidence is huge, and the fact that you're coaching women on that really makes a difference, because when I start showing up as who, like, I need to be for the universe, I start to attract all those people that are my people, versus trying to convert someone else's people or someone else's energy. You know, like, you feel like, oh, should I be doing, you know, even like colors and stuff as an entrepreneur, you're like, oh my gosh, that's cool. That's on trend. Right. So you're always looking and doing that. Would you kind of agree that sometimes it comes into like how we market ourselves too?
Absolutely. Every aspect. So yeah, I mean, you want to bring in everything about you into your brand. Mm-hmm. And, but I think it's just so natural for us to, because we're afraid, we're not quite confident, because it's kind of, we're treading into new territory. So we're like, oh, what's this person doing? Use other people that are successful as an example, like, to be inspired, to know that it's possible. But then when it comes to branding yourself or really deciding what you are going to offer, that's where you kind of go back to your unique value, what you're bringing to the table that's unique and different, so you can operate from that place of authenticity. And it's okay to be vulnerable. Like, often we are meant to teach the things, our biggest lessons that we are meant to learn in our life. Now think about that for a moment. So we are meant to teach the things that we're meant to learn. And chances are we're not already at the end of that learning process. Yeah. And so that's the good, bad, and the ugly, right? So all those experiences in our life, good or bad, are just stepping stones leading us to who we're meant to be. So it's okay to go to the dark side sometimes, to share, you know, why you do what you do now, or why you're passionate about something, because you maybe struggled with it yourself, and now you're kind of on the other side of it, or working towards being on the other side of it, and you learn so much. Mm-hmm. That is the goal, that you can now teach others to help them get from where they are to where they want to be in a shorter period of time, or, you know, save a lot of money and heartache and
Yeah.
misery, because you can now teach them and help them.
Efficiently start and run a business of your own.
Yes, exactly.
While also being passionate about it and liking what you do, right? Because that's the whole reason why you moved from what you were doing. So.
Oh my gosh, if it's not fun, why do it? That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I agree in that sense. And so you have what your people are called the Passionista Nation.
Yes. So about a year ago, I started a Facebook group, because I'm like, how can I really reach a broader amount of entrepreneurs out there from all over the world? So I started Passionista Nation about a year ago. We have about 1,250 women entrepreneurs all over the world that are living their passion and their purpose, and they are all passionistas.
Yeah.
So so it's kind of like a support community, share business tips and mindset tips and strategies. And then I bring in experts every other Monday that talk on various different topics related to mindset or business building strategies. So it's really fun. And for me, Maya, it's about really creating your own environment, creating your own community of people that you want to hang around with, that are like-minded. And that's what fuels your soul. That's what kind of feeds you and gives you energy. So I want each of you to think about, who are the people that you want to hang around with? And you can create your own organization, your own meetup group, or I actually have a meetup event I'm doing tonight for conscious women entrepreneurs. So I've been actively involved in creating my own environment in which I can flourish, in which I can, share with these other women that are on their a similar journey on their entrepreneurial path. So it's really a great way, because they always say what you're going to turn out like the the people around you, right? Yeah. So if you're hanging around a bunch of losers or negative people, you know what? You're going to have a hard time getting where you want to be. So, you get to choose who you hang out with, and that makes a huge difference. So, start your own community of something you're passionate about and meet other people that are like-minded. It's awesome.
I like that. And then would you say that like within, when you do kind of build out that group and you're in your entrepreneurial like zone, right? The zone of genius. I think you said genius zone. I like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you're in that genius zone, it's so much helpful to have other geniuses around you, but also just like knowing to kind of not necessarily keep score, but hold yourself accountable with people, I think is really, really important. And then how does money infuse into that? Like how does, like what you've said, like just kind of saying, I'm going to have the courage and, my price is this. And, even though I haven't been in the industry for 30 years and this is way more than I would make as a salary being someone else's teammate, how do all the components that you matched kind of just, say like, how does it make the money come, I guess, is what I think.
Yeah. So you said so much there. Yeah. But so it all starts with that unique value, understanding what you're bringing. Right. But then, like, okay, what is the value of that? Like, can this thing, service or product or whatever that I'm offering, does it solve a problem or a challenge that somebody's facing? Can it help take someone from where they are to where they want to be? So does it offer a solution is basically what you're looking at, and what will people pay for that solution, right? Is it going to save them time? Is it going to save them money? Is it going to like carve out a few years of their time in building a business? So there is a value to that. So that's where you want to decide, what will people pay for it, and what is my time worth? How much time, personal time am I putting into it? So all of those things come into play. But the beauty of it is, because a lot of times I work with a lot of people that are super passionate about what they do, and they have amazing gifts, but they have such big hearts and they want to serve and they want to give. But that's the problem here. We often give our time, gifts, and talents away, which is not a good thing. That is really based on a low self-worth. So the thing is to know that if you have something of value to share, it is okay to get paid generously for it. In fact, people are going to respect it more if you are charging the proper price point. And I see amazing things happen. For example, being a business coach, you know, if I'm working with somebody or somebody is considering business coaching, but maybe, you know, they're fearful to invest in themselves. They've never invested in themselves before. But they, you know, take a leap of faith. They do it anyway. And it's not like they have the money sitting in their sock drawer, but it's a stretch. They don't have the money, but they make it work and they find a way to do it. When they do that and they invest in themselves, magic happens. So I can't tell you how many times, you know, the universe recognizes them investing in themselves, and, you know, they'll reach out and say, hey, Megan, oh my gosh, the day after I invested in your program, I just got a new client for the same amount of money that I just invested in your program, or,
Woo.
you know, got this new big deal. So it's amazing, like when somebody says yes to themselves and invests, things happen for them. So it's really, if you are giving away your services and products, it's devaluing not only your product or service, but yourself. And it's setting a poor example and teaching people that that's okay. I love to, you know, really take a stand for, we have something of value to share. Each and every one of you have something of value to share. So whether you're asking for a certain price point for an employer, or asking for a raise, or if you own your own business and you're charging, you know, for your services or products, make sure you are setting the proper price, because it really has so many different areas of impact, you know, when you're not. So
it's not going to be perfect, you know, in the
no.
beginning. It's not like it won't be, but you have to take that risk, and you have to say, like, wake up every day, this is who I am, this is what I'm standing for. And what's going to happen in 2-3 years when I do stand for myself now is so much more powerful. Like, you're on the playing field that you want, and you have to think about it in that mindset. Because how can you ever chase your future self and, you know, and get there if you don't even really believe it now? And that's
Yeah. And
it's
honestly,
internal, and it's sticky sometimes, you know, but to really say that and to have people like you know, cheering you on and saying, like, there's this specific fact, like, go in, see what your God-given talent is, you know, and if you're trying to mimic your sisters, maybe you don't, you know, like, go in and find yourself and undig and unpack that.
yeah. And I love to say, you don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. And then you're going to learn and grow and become more and more confident along the way. So, you know, eventually you're going to get to the point where you're a rock star, an expert, because of how you've grown along the way. But so many people are like, they wait. They're getting ready to get ready because they want to get it perfect, and, you know, they're missing the boat. The thing is, you're never going to get it perfect the first time. You have to get out there and get going to learn what people want, and to, you know, just kind of be able to perfect the process, see what works, see what doesn't, keep tweaking, keep perfecting. And all along the way, you're able to increase your prices because your confidence level is increasing, and you're really honing your gift and really perfecting your product or service.
And that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to constantly keep checking in with ourselves, and any entrepreneurs out there, just feel really, really secure in that, and get a good group of people around you that believe that you're worth that. And, like, I started doing like abundance, like, just like how I talk to money, like my self-talk about money was not what it used to be. And now it's so much better, because I, like, even just little things is like, it helps, you know, not that I'm like comfortable spending a lot of money now, like I probably still am, but then also saying, like, hey, it's going to come, you know, like, and believing it's going to come, believing it's going to manifest, believing it's going to be provided. And that comes from, like, what you're saying.
Yes.
And so, speaking of gifts, whether they're God-given or not, I've hear that you have one for us today.
I do. So those of you who are aspiring entrepreneurs, or maybe you already have something going that you want to really build out, this is an offering for you. I have a masterclass called Awakening the Prosperous Entrepreneur Within that I would love to invite you to. This is all about how to align with your passion and be able to make a big impact and make money with your passion. So the webinar, all you have to do is, I believe Maya's going to be providing a link, and you can just click the link and opt in, and you can pick a time that works for you in terms of the masterclass. So there's a few times available, dates and times available for you. Okay. And it's just a really valuable masterclass where you're going to learn exactly what steps you need to take to start turning your passion into a profitable business.
Thank you so much, Megan. And how long is it?
You're welcome. It's just over an hour.
Okay, easy. Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, if you can spend an hour on, kind of resetting your money mindset, and you make more money the next day or next hour because of it, I think that's a well spent hour. And webinars are so easy these days,
Something I wanted to mention, because I know a lot of us maybe have some old negative story around money. One thing that really shifted it for me, because I'm a giver, I'm like, oh, it's hard for me to, charge a certain amount. But what I like to look at, as your bank account grows, the amount of money that you're making reflects the amount of people that you're helping. So that can be a very big incentive for like, oh, I want to make a lot of money, even though you don't feel like you need to buy a lot of stuff. Think about how many people you can help with that money, right? But yeah, so don't feel guilty about it. Know that you making a lot of money means you're helping a ton of people. So that's what kind of shifted things for me. I'm like, yes. Yeah. Now I want to make as much money as possible to help as many people as I possibly can, right?
Yes, definitely so. And that's one of my big passions. I came from a background of social justice and really in the nonprofit world. And this was my personal outlet once I figured out that health and mindset are so important, and that was missing in my past career. And saying I still want to infuse that to where I'm going now, whether it's giving back at our live events and our international retreats and things, there's some component of it. I mean, for how much travel I've done and it being in a philanthropy context, you see how people spend their money and the gifts that happen on those events. And it's just so special. It's so special to say like, hey, I spent a week and I did this, I learned all this about myself, but I also, the money was totally worth it, and it'll come again, even if it stresses you out a little bit, right? Because you're always living in that. So thank you for giving something free. I know that's, not what you just coached us on doing.
No, I think you always have to give value for people to get to know, like, and trust you before then they would be able to trust to invest their money in you. So that, there's definitely a happy medium. But when it comes to providing something that's really going to be the how and that's full solution, you want to charge for that, because that's super valuable.
Yes. Well, Megan, thank you so much for connecting with us this morning. And, we are just excited to hop on that webinar. We'll learn a little bit from you, but hopefully today, this 20 minutes, Driven Millennial Community, you have money on your mind and you feel really confident about it and know that your unique value is so important, and it starts with you. So Megan, thank you again.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. We'll see you on social media too. Okay.
Sounds good. Have a great day, everybody.